Hi everybody, it's Tiffany coming to you again today on behalf of ConceiveEasy.com, and today we're going to be talking about exactly how to figure out when your most fertile days are in your cycle. And there are a handful of things that you can do, and they pretty much all involve paying pretty close attention to your body. It's something that's going to be really important, so while it may seem like a lot of effort and a lot of work, I want to really encourage you to get started doing these things. Don't skip it and just hope for the best. Conception is surprisingly tricky business, and it's not as easy as you think to get pregnant, but with data on your side and having done your homework, you can make the process easier. So the very first thing that you need to do to determine your fertile days is to keep an accurate record of your menstrual cycles. You may assume you know how long they last, but if you haven't been keeping track of exactly when they start each month or each cycle, you could be off base. So write down the day your cycle starts and the day your cycle ends for several months. This is just part of the process. You don't have to do this before you start trying to conceive, but get started as soon as you can. If you know you want to get started in a couple months, or if you're trying now, just go ahead and get started writing that down. It's important for you to know, is your period like clockwork? Do you have a period every 28 days? If so, you're a pretty strong candidate for ovulating on day 14. Although there's other factors that you need to research before you know that for sure. Maybe your periods are every 23 days. Maybe they're every 33 days. Maybe they vary month to month. Maybe you have a high-stress job or a high-stress environment that you live in, and your periods change from one month to the next. In any case, whether they're regular or irregular, that's something you need to know. The second thing that you can do is take track of your temperature, your body temperature. And I'll explain to you why that matters. You need to record your temperature every single day at the same time. The strategy most women use is that they get a thermometer, they put it right by their bed on their nightstand. When that alarm goes off, before they even get out of bed, take your temperature, write it down. Why do you need to know? Well, because when your body ovulates, 24 to 48 hours after your body after you ovulate, you will release, your temperature will rise by about a half a degree. I know, it's not very much, but it's such a great and helpful sign that you have already ovulated. And when you start keeping track of this over a period of a couple months, you're going to see a pattern in your body, and you're going to realize when ovulation has already occurred, and by that point, 24 to 48 hours after ovulation has occurred, it's too late to fertilize an egg. But once you start to know that information, you can know when you're about to ovulate. So that's really important. Another thing to keep in mind, since that temperature change is so slight, you may want to consider getting what's called a basal body thermometer. They're sold at drugstores, they're easy to find, but they're just a little more sensitive than your standard run-of-the-mill thermometer. And so you may find that to be really helpful. Another thing that you can do, and it's very low tech, and it kind of grosses women out for some reason, but hey, welcome to the world of trying to have a baby. This will not be the only gross thing you deal with. Another sign for you is to check your cervical mucus. Before you ovulate and leading up to when you're going to be ovulating, the cervical mucus in your body sort of becomes very thin, very stretchy, very slippery, sort of like egg whites. That's really the best way to describe it. And that really just forms, it's almost like a web that it forms to try to help the sperm get up into the uterus quickly and do its job to fertilize an egg. After you have ovulated, it becomes thicker and then it goes away altogether. So again, it's another really important clue for you about when are my most fertile days. Well, when you have that egg white consistency, that's when your most fertile days are. So, okay, maybe it doesn't sound like the most glamorous thing to do, but it's really, really helpful. The final thing that you can do, and it is the most expensive, and it isn't necessary, but it could be helpful if you choose to do it, is to buy an ovulation predictor kit. Now these are sold in drugstores, and basically they're little sticks that you pee on every day. And what they're testing is the LH amount in your body. That's your, let me get the word right, luteinizing hormone. If you remember from the ovulation video, you've got the follicular phase of your cycle and the luteal phase. So we're watching for that surge in your luteinizing hormone to happen. That tells you that ovulation is about to happen. So this is it's a pretty accurate test. Maybe even a little more accurate than some of the other things that I've told you, but it is more expensive. Don't let that worry you. It's not the only way to do this, but it could be very helpful. In all of these cases, gathering this data, while it may seem tedious, is very helpful. It's very helpful for you to really be able to clue in and pinpoint on when your most fertile days are, because remember, once that egg is released, 12 to 24 hours, it will live on its own before it dies. That is a brief window. And after ovulation happens, it's too late. And so if you are trying to conceive after that point, maybe you're having fun, but as far as conception goes, you're wasting your time. Or if you have it too early, again, could be fun, not going to achieve your goal. So this data is very helpful. If you find yourself after, many months of trying and collecting this data, still having problems conceiving, this data, it will be very helpful to doctors as well to get a sense for what do your cycles look like month to month? What's going on with your temperature? Are we having that hormone surge? Is it not really happening? What's going on with your cervical mucus? Because there are any number of reasons why conception could be a problem. So all of this work, I promise, it's not in vain. It's going to help you one way or the other. Next time, we're going to talk about specific strategies. Once you narrow it down, when your most fertile days are, where do we go from here? Thanks so much.